day all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your agriculture wrap-up for this Thursday, the 30th of January 2020, and we're getting on to 2:30 in the afternoon. So, in looking at the market, the WHO organization, World Health Organization, did declare today a national emergency. They heavily praised China for the efforts that they've done and how fast they've moved and how they've built hospitals and so on. But the reason for the emergency, they used the cover of that less fortunate companies, less well-to-do countries, if the disease spreads there, this allows them to step in and opens the doorway for help. I can't argue that. The stock market was down a lot, and it's come back. How it'll finish today, you got to figure that out yourself. It's two parts. It's a glass half full, half empty on this disease. They make it very clear that the amount of the disease has been contained in China, and yes, there are cases outside of it, but not a flood of cases. Very important. Where are the deaths occurring? Inside of China. So, at least we can see what they're alluding to. You come over to other markets such as gasoline and energies. Is that news good or bad for them? Got to wait and see. In the grain markets, well, what you've got in the grains are traders that are a bit confused. You know, some of the traders went and they said yesterday, well, the demand for the corn meal and soy meal is going to be very large if we can get that flu virus, the Asian swine fever. If that will work, then you're going to have larger populations of animals. You're going to need that. But it doesn't happen at one time, and nor is that out in the field just yet. A lot of people still concerned, what is China going to buy and not buy? If you looked at hogs today, they're limit down. They're not up. They're down as much as they can go in one day. So it's a lot of dealing with this coronavirus. Well, as we come to the weekly area chart of soybeans, you're honing in again on this last area of a price break. And I'm going to take you back there. If we come right here, the last break area was 876 3/4 on a closing basis. And from there, the market took off, went all the way up here to 929, 930, as you can see, 935. That's when the break started happening. So what have we done? We're back where we began. Is the market going to go another leg down or not? Well, all I can tell you is the bias of the market when you're under that average is down. So then I go to the daily charts. And once we broke through this line, which I know I was telling you, I showed you, I said, watch out here, folks. You're breaking a big pattern here. And this pattern, I didn't think it was going necessarily that low, but it has. A lot of it has to do with China not yet stepping into the market, fears about the market. And I know you're not going to believe a word I'm saying because it's only January, but you got to start thinking, what are farmers going to plant in the U.S. in another 4 or 5 months? Because that's when they start going back into the fields. Some areas of the country, the end of March, they're actually prepping their fields. Market in a downtrend. Now the question is, how low is low? Here's what I can tell you. If you get back over 903, you break the thrust of this market. Now breaking the thrust doesn't mean you have to go straight up, but you break the down thrust of the market. You've had the bearish crossover. I'm getting what I wanted. When this first happened, I said, watch it. If you get that and the market was coming up, I said, you're going to get the attention of moving average traders. And, you know, people tell me, I don't see it falling apart, and this was yesterday. Well, let me show you today. It got the attention of the moving average traders. That's a new break low for the whole move. And that's all that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to point out things that I've learned over the years. That does not mean I'm going to be right. You know, if you could see me through all this, I'm like Swiss cheese with all the holes of things I've done wrong in the markets over a 50-year period, okay? But you learn from doing wrong, or you're insane if you keep doing the wrong thing over and over, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? If you do the same thing looking for a different result that is wrong over and over, you get yourself in trouble. Well, that's all I was looking for. The market coming down and saying, okay, we've got another bearish element in there. And to me, as long as you keep the embedded slow stochastic locked in, until that's lost, you don't have a thrust to the upside. In fact, if anything, the bears and those caught in this are still waiting to do what? Probably sell out on rallies. In the meal market, today's break low at 291.5 under the lower Bollinger Band. Now, one of the things I teach is that trying to sell under that Bollinger Band is not the smartest thing in the world. Why? 5% of the time you stay under it. I'm not saying you don't want to be short. That's not what I'm telling you. But maybe instead of selling there, you get opportunities at other price levels. What most pros do is what I'm saying. They're not trying to get short under that, looking for that big home run under that number. What about soybean oil? Well, it failed where we thought it would. Here's a market that went down. First challenges of the 100-day average, tried to hold it, went a little bit lower, which tells me on the way up, as long as you keep the embedded reading, that's going to be so important. What tried to hold becomes resistance on the way up. Yesterday, yeah, you went through it, but you closed under that number, and today you're coming down. Now, what would I tell you on a day like today? Come on, what would I say? If you hit the lower Bollinger Band, right in that area, what do you think the pros are doing? Probably covering and taking some money off the table. You still have the embedded reading. My guess is they went at that resistance area, and we'll see what they do from there. In the corn market, you're in a downtrend. The market's got momentum pointing down. The bias is down as you're under the 18-day average of the pattern. With today's action is bearish. Now, this was how you looked yesterday. Real important day. Higher high, lower low. No trend. Fighting at the 18 and the 100. If you take out today's low, what happens is you then are confirming lower highs. You've already got the lower low. And that's just what went on. What will negate the downtrend? Take out the highs of yesterday, especially if you don't take out 377.25. Now, I am expecting the pros that if they can push it down any further, that's a zone that they're going to cover against the lower Bollinger Band. But on a protection, the bears have to protect the market not getting over that number, otherwise they lose control of the bear trend. In the wheat market, momentum down, bias down since you're under the 18-day average. Yesterday, not today, you had lower highs, lower lows. You closed under the 18-day average. That's where the bears grabbed control. Maybe they try to get to that lower Bollinger Band, and that's what the market seems to be working on. I don't know if it'll make it or not, but they have control of the market unless and until you take out 576.5. Unlike corn, that wouldn't flip the trend. That would just give you a lower low, higher high pattern. I'm expecting to see resistance in that area. In the sugar market, we don't have a trend. We have a market that's got lower highs, lower lows. I guess you could call the swing line in a trend, but the bias is up since you're over the 18-day average and you're overbought. I don't know what this chart is, but it's not something that's setting itself up pretty. The never-ending bear market in coffee goes on and on and on. Keep your eye on these two moving averages. You're liable to get the 18 under the 100. This market has gone one of the biggest breaks I've seen in modern times in pricing. It was interesting today to see that the company that owns Lipton and some of the other teas, I won't mention them on TV because I don't want to be a stockbroker for it. They've put up their tea parts for sale. I wonder how many coffees are getting hurt. Give you an idea here. Starbucks, this coffee price. You think they're going to lower their price? You just came from $1.40 a pound down, pushing here, the low today $1.01, right? They have no problem in going up in price, and then as the market falls back, they keep all that. Something to think about, but we also know they have plenty of troubles in China, and more companies are closing stores in China. Yum Brands just closed a lot of stores today. And that doesn't mean they're permanently closing, but people aren't going out, so you got to do what you got to do. In the cocoa market, I don't see a real trend here. The market's got a bias that's up. It's trying to hold on, but it's just sort of wavering. This rally, the market's got to consolidate, and that's what I think it's trying to do right now. In the cotton market, today was a day where I think that the pros took money off the table. This market had lower highs. It's already had lower lows. It closed yesterday under the 18-day average of closes. The risk was not to get back over this high, and the potential could be the lower Bollinger Band. Well, if you hit that band, you know what I am, a broken record. That's where I think the pros are going to take money off the table, and that's what I expect they did today. Cattle market hasn't shown any sign yet of doing anything other than it's oversold, hasn't embedded yet, but straight down. This breakout from this sideways action, and I know you had been with me on this, we had talked about this for a long time. I frankly thought it was going to go to the upside, but that's why you wait. You let the market tell you which way it wants to go. Was that going to be real or not? After you get another day, got to be careful. That's more than one day outside of that. And here you notice how you start failing with them, and this wasn't. Then you go to the 100-day average. Now you're catching these people in this market that are caught. They're holding on, where's my bounce? And they're just not getting that bounce. I've been there, done that wrong too. The best loss you can take is your first loss. Learn from it. Feeders. All you've done is move to the right-hand side of the Bollinger Band. You haven't turned the trend at all, and you might even be embedding here. So problems in this market until it turns itself. It's in a bear phase. Keep your eye on these moving averages if they come together. And the hog market, wow. This is the new break low for this move. Quite a dramatic move down the limit today, the permissible limit, and this is just a market that there's no demand. Hog producers probably in America overproduced, hoping they were going to be exporting all this pork to China. I don't think they counted on I know they didn't count on a coronavirus. They thought demand would pick up. We know that China pork prices, the government had sold off their stocks. It's just a wrong call. And by the way, I want to show something. Has this market been over the 18-day average since the beginning of the year? So the bias has been down. Playing the long side, that's why I use filters. All I can tell you is when you've got downside bias, you're looking for reasons to be short. You have upside bias, you're looking for reasons to be long. Then you're looking at the other numbers that are coming into play. And that's one of the things we talk about here. You know, we are an agriculture firm. A lot of this firm. I went with Linn. They have a lot of ag. I'm, as most of you know, really from the financial arena, the stock indices, the currencies. But I needed a balance in things I'm doing. And this is the firm that really offers it. If you haven't seen their information, how they talk about options, how they tell you what the strategies are going on, who's doing what in those arenas, well, that's what they do. And we cover it in all these different ways so that you can pick the markets you want. Some agriculture people, they don't care what the financial market's doing. The last thing they care about is the price of crude oil. But it could be important for the price of natural gas as they dry out their grain. So you look at all that. We put it together. If you haven't seen our reports, do yourself a favor and take a look at them. How do you get it? Just call my staff at 866-973-2077. They'll take care of that. You can go to our website, sign up for our free offerings. Might want to look at our trading platforms. They're some of the best around in terms of having information, ease of use. We do crush spreads. We do a lot of that information right in there. In the meantime, I'm Ira Epstein. Hope you take advantage, and I'll see you tomorrow.